In this video, we will explain to you how the OCPP Certification Program works. If you are a vendor and you want an OCPP certification for your charging station or CSMS, then this video is for you. We will cover the certification process of OCPP 1.6 and 2.0.1. For the most recent information, please visit the OCA website via the link in the video description. If you have any questions about the certification program, you can contact OCA at certification@openchargealliance.org. Why is OCPP certification so important? Vendors use many different terms when it comes to CPP implementation: OCPP compliant, OCPP compatible, OCPP capable, or OCPP ready. There is no clear definition of these terms, nor are these claims overseen by any independent authority. As a result, these statements could mean everything, anything, or nothing. This is where OCPP certification comes in. Vendors can validate their OCPP implementation on conformance with the OCPP specification by having their implementation certification tested at an independent OCPP certification test laboratory. A successful certification run results in an OCPP certificate that is published on the Open Charge Alliance website. The OCPP Certification Program. The Open Charge Alliance offers a certification program since 2019. The certification program is managed by the Open Charge Alliance and several independent test laboratories around the world. OCA defines certification and test procedures. Besides, it provides test tools. Test labs provide test services to vendors. As a vendor, you can join OCA and help shape the certification and test procedures. You can also purchase test tools from OCA. The Compliancy Working Group, CWG, is the working group within the OCA that is responsible for all activities required for and associated with the testing of OCA standards implementations in order to promote interoperability and advancement towards certification. The CWG is responsible for the design of the certification program by establishing the requirements and test cases for certification testing and provide, develop or procure testing tools, harnesses, and processes. What are the benefits of OCPP certification? OCPP certification has benefits for vendors and buyers. Vendors can assure their clients that their implementation has been validated for conformance to the OCPP specifications by an approved independent test laboratory. Buyers can check which products are certified and successfully tested for conformance to OCPP. You can find all relevant information about the certification process on the Open Charge Alliance website. Visit openchargealliance.org/certification-OCPP and scroll down. On the right, you can navigate to the list of certified products. Certified products and verification of certificates. Here, you can find the list of certified products. All certified products and their certification numbers are listed on this page. You can search for a company or use one of the filters, for example the country filter. If you encounter a certificate which is not listed below, please contact us. With the growing number of certified products on the market, it is more important than ever to ensure the authenticity of OCA certifications. When verifying a certificate, always check the certification number. OCA certification numbers follow a certain format. To do a final verification of the OCPP certificate, please read the signature validation instruction and use the OCA Trusted Certificate tool below. Let's move back to the certification page and proceed to the certification program information. On this site, you can read all relevant information about the certification program. Click the yellow OCPP Certification Procedure button and read the document carefully. It contains important general information about the certification procedure for OCPP 1.6 and OCPP 2.0.1. The certification procedure document contains requirements, explanations, and other information to get you started with the OCPP certification. Please read it before you continue with the video. As of April 2025, it is now also possible to OCPP certify product families. The exact definition can be found in the certification procedure. In short, this means that it is a different device, having the same firmware and sharing the same configuration, with a number of exceptions as listed in the certification procedure. At the bottom of the Certification Program page, you will see the What Different Certificates Are Available block. There are certificates available for different versions of OCPP. The details of each version can be found when clicking on one of the purple buttons. We will now have a look at the Certification OCPP 2.0.1 page. The OCPP 1.6 page has a similar structure. How can I get my product certified? Scroll to the step-by-step guide and follow the 3 steps. Step 1. Download and study the version-specific OCPP 2.1 test procedure and test plans document. This document describes the test procedure and the test plans of the OCPP Certification Program. Have you read the OCPP 2.0.1 test procedure and test plans document? Then you can move to Step 2. Download and fill in the following form. This is about preparing the PICS. Step 2. Download and fill in the PICS document from the OCA website. PICS stands for Protocol Implementation Conformance Statement. This is a very important document containing all information about a system or device. Please fill it in with great care. Most information from the PICS will eventually be printed on your OCPP certificate. As an example, we will look at the PICS for a charging station because OCPP product families apply to charging stations. The PICS for charging station management systems is similar, but more simple. Please start with the first tab and work your way from left to right. Each tab of the PICS has a valid indicator that indicates whether everything is filled in correctly. Some fields need to be filled in manually, while others are drop-down menus. When you open the PICS, the first tab shows an explanation of how to fill in the document. Move to the next tab to specify the hardware features of your charging station on the tab Hardware Feature Set. The hardware feature set is the actual set of relevant hardware properties of the product tested that influence the OCPP messaging behavior. In the PICS, the red texts indicate when something is not yet correctly filled in. For this video, we will fill in a demo PICS for a 1 EVSE AC charging station with a Type 2 connector with a fixed cable. After filling in the hardware feature set, move to the Profile Selection tab, where you can select the certification profiles that you want to certify during your certification run. The core profile is mandatory. All other profiles can be selected by setting the supported column to Yes. When that's done, go to the tab Optional Features. The OCPP specification contains many implementation options that can be selected by you as a vendor, often in the form of optional message fields or configuration variables that can be used to support advanced functions. Whereas the certification profiles determine which OCPP functionality is implemented, the features describe how much of a certain functionality in a profile has been implemented. The tables indicate per certification profile for each available optional feature within this profile, whether this has been implemented in this product and must be tested for conformance or not. You must specify which optional features you have implemented in your charging station. Fill in all black fields. Purple fields will be filled in during certification. Next, move to the Additional Questions tab, where a number of additional questions are to be answered. These are needed for determining the complete list of conformance tests for this product. After that, fill in all settings limitations that are relevant for certification in the tab Other Relevant Settings, and fill in the required values. Next, move to the tab Vendor-Specific Settings and fill in all settings that are specific to this vendor or device and that are relevant for certification. Move to the next tab, the Performance Measurement tab, and add the maximum performance values for your charging station. Move to the next tab. When the tabs are filled in correctly, the Charging Station Test Cases tab indicates which test cases need to be performed. You can see the test you have to perform when you filter for True in the Perform Test for Certification column. These test cases refer to the test case documents. For OCPP 1.6, there is a separate test case document on the website. For OCPP 2.1, the test case document is added as Part 6 to the OCPP full specification download. Step 3. Contact a test laboratory. You can now move to Step 3. Contact a test laboratory. Contact one or more test labs to request a price indication. All OCA-designated labs offer the same service. OCPP certificates are valid worldwide, and it does not matter in which country they were obtained. You are therefore free to choose a lab that fits your needs best. Later in this video, we will explain the pricing and maximum fees for certification. The lab will contact you and ask you to send in your charging station. Often, the lab can test within 3 weeks, but this can vary. Testing at the lab. Once you have prepared your system for testing for certification, you can plan a certification test with the lab of your choice. They are using the same OCTT as you can buy as a vendor. The testing will be based on the PICS that you provide and will be run in so-called PICS mode of the OCTT. What this does is select only the test cases that are applicable for your system device based on your PICS. Randomize test cases runs specific test cases multiple times. For example, if you have multiple connectors or EVSEs, some test cases are run for all EVSEs and connectors, so check that the OCPP functionality is supported on all EVSEs connectors. Similarly, if you support multiple types of security certificates, some test cases are run for both types. As a vendor, you can use the same PICS mode to prepare yourself for testing. How this works will be explained later in this video. Receiving and checking the test report from the lab. Let's go back to the certification. When your OCPP implementation has passed all of the tests that are required based on your PICS, the test laboratory will create a test report. This report includes a performance measurement and log files. It will be sent to OCA. OCA will check the test report. Some test cases require an additional log review to make sure nothing has been missed. These test cases are on a so-called watch list. You can find the list of watch list test cases in the test tool. You will also receive and sign a logo agreement that states how you can use the OCPP certified logo. In short, the OCPP certified logo can only be used for the actual product that is on the certificate, not for other products. If all tests are passed, the logs have been reviewed, and the logo agreement has been signed, you will receive the certificate from OCA. As mentioned earlier, the OCPP Certification Program now supports product families. You can learn more about OCPP product families later in this video. About OCPP certificates, OCA will generate a certificate based on the test report that is based on the PICS. Once the certificate is generated, it is sent out to you as a vendor or to the contact person that you assigned. In addition, all OCA certificates are listed on the website. Visit https://openchargealliance.org/certification-OCPP to see all OCPP certificates. Issues during testing or checking the results. The OCA test labs are in close contact with OCA. Any issues are reported by the labs to OCA and are resolved as soon as possible. In case you don't agree with the results, please contact OCA. Running test cases in PICS mode. Do you want to run the test cases in PICS mode? Then this chapter is for you. As mentioned earlier, PICS stands for Protocol Implementation Conformance Statement. One of the topics discussed in the demo is how to run the test cases in the PICS mode. This consists of the following steps. First, you completely fill in the PICS as explained earlier in this video. In addition, the vendor information on the Statement of Approval tab also needs to be filled in, including the photo of the device. Next, you need to prepare the PICS for uploading to the OCTT. This is done in a separate tool called the OCTT Toolbox. This preparation step includes a thorough technical verification of the PICS. If this is not correctly validated, it will not be possible to use the PICS mode. For example, if you upload a PICS that is not valid, an error will be displayed and no download button will appear. If you upload a PICS that includes test cases that are on the so-called watch list, you will receive a warning that you cannot create a vendor declaration of conformance for this configuration. If the PICS is accepted, a download button appears, allowing you to download an OPI file, OCTT PICS import file. Once you have downloaded the OPI file, you can go back to the configuration page of the OCTT and upload the PICS in the OCTT. To do so, navigate to the configuration page and then to the tab PICS. Based on the PICS, the list of test cases is filtered in the OCTT. Only the applicable test cases for this DUT are selected. DUT stands for Device Under Test. Some test cases must be run with specific configuration values. These are automatically filled in by the OCTT and cannot be configured by the tester anymore once the PICS mode is enabled. Select the checkbox for PICS mode on the configuration page of the OCTT and save the configuration. You will be forwarded to the test run screen where the test session can be started. Once the DUT is connected to the OCTT, you can press the Execute All button, which triggers the OCTT to perform all tests from the PICS. When following these steps, you can prepare by testing your device the same way the certification lab will perform the tests. OCPP Product Family Members. As mentioned earlier in the presentation, you can now also certify OCPP Product Family Members for charging stations. If you are not interested in OCPP Product Family certification, you can skip this part and move directly to the next part, Vendor Declaration of Conformance. Choosing the representative product. For certification of an OCPP product family, one product must be certified by an OCA designated lab as a normal certification. This one product has to be the representative product, the product with the most extended set of features. These are listed in the certification procedure. For example, a certification for a multi-connector charging station is also valid for a one-connector charging station, but not the other way around. In this example, if you have two charging stations that are a family and they use the same firmware, the representative product must be the multi-connector charging station. The OCA designated test labs can also help you with choosing the correct representative product. The test laboratory will only test the representative product. As a vendor, it is your task to declare conformance of the family members. This is done by providing a vendor declaration of conformance report to the test lab, filling in the PICS for OCPP product family certification. Once you have chosen the representative product, the PICS must be filled in for this product. The PICS must be filled in as explained earlier. In addition, the tab OCPP Product Family must be filled in for each OCPP product family member. This tab only lists the properties that are allowed to deviate, as described in the certification procedure. How to create a Vendor Declaration of Conformance. A Vendor Declaration of Conformance report, or VDCR, is a conformance test report created by the OCTT. It can be used separately to show conformance of a DUT, and is required for adding a product family member to an OCPP certificate. A Vendor Declaration of Conformance is created by the OCTT, requiring the DUT to be run with its own PICS in one successful and uninterrupted run. The steps to take to create a Vendor Declaration of Conformance are the following. Import the PICS file in the OCTT. 1. Fill in the PICS for the product for which you want to create a Vendor Declaration of Conformance. For this video, we have already filled in an example PICS. 2. Import the PICS in the OCT as described earlier in this video. To do so, go to the toolbox, generate a PICS import, download the import file, and import the file into the OCT. 3. Run all test cases. This must be one successful, uninterrupted run using the API. Then, click the Execute All button. You can see which test case is running in the test tool. Running the test cases takes a while. For this demo, we only use a small set of test cases. When the test run is done, you see Test Run Completed. 4. Once all test cases are successfully passed, go to the report page, select the OCTT configuration used, and download a certification log package. Please note, this option will not be available in case one or more required test cases have not been successfully passed. 5. This certification package can then be converted to a vendor declaration of conformance with the OCTT toolbox. 6. Go to the OCTT toolbox and upload the certification package. 7. Once all checks are done, the download button appears and the vendor declaration of conformance report can be downloaded. How to receive a certificate with OCPP Product Family Listing. Once you have downloaded the report, you must send it to the test lab that has tested your representative product, together with the certification log package. Based on these PICS from the representative product that includes the family member information, the test lab and OCA will validate the whole package. If everything is correct, the OCA will send you a certificate that also includes a family member listing. As a final note, the last steps are all related to the addition of OCPP family members to a certificate. However, this is not required. The vendor declaration of conformance can also be used as a separate document. For example, as a vendor, you can show your buyers that a newer firmware version for your originally certified product still conforms to OCPP. Please note that there is a difference in a certified product, an OCPP product family member, and a vendor declaration of conformance. An OCPP certified product is tested by an independent, neutral OCA designated test lab. An OCPP product family member is tested by the vendor. The vendor declaration of conformance is used as proof of this and is reviewed by the test lab and OCA. A vendor declaration of conformance only is a report that is run by a vendor and not independently verified. This means that it is not independently verified that the actual product on the declaration is the actual product tested. What are the costs for certification? With regard to the pricing of certification, the OCA does not have fixed prices, but we have agreed upon maximum tariffs with the OCA designated certification labs for one successful certification test run. This fee does not include pre-testing, debugging, and/or retesting sessions. This means that the different labs are allowed to charge lower fees for a successful run, and also to differentiate in offering pre-testing, debugging, etc. The maximum prices differ for OCA participants and non-participants. OCA participants get a discount since they have already contributed to the certification program in part through their OCA membership fees. The discount does not apply for OCA liaison participants. For OCPP 1.6, the maximum fees that are listed on the website are for testing all profiles including security certification. When a vendor of a charging station applies for a subset certificate, the labs will reduce the fee accordingly. For OCPP 2.01, the maximum fee structure is slightly different. Here we have a separate maximum fee for the mandatory core only, and an additional maximum fee for all additional certification profiles. When you are not applying for all additional certification profiles, but for a subset certificate, the labs will reduce the fee accordingly. Finally, there is the cost for adding family members to a certificate. There is a maximum fee for the test labs for each additional OCPP product family member. This fee is for the labs performing a number of checks on the vendor declaration of conformance. The vendor declaration of conformance is provided by a vendor, as mentioned earlier in this video. In addition, there is an OCA fee for each certificate update. So if you want to add 2 OCPP product family members to a certificate in one update, the maximum lab fee is €500 plus €500 and €250 for the OCA certification update. This makes the total maximum fee for this example €1,250. You have reached the end of this video, in which we explained how the OCPP Certification Program works. For more information, visit openchargealliance.org. If you have any questions about the certification program, you can contact OCA at certification@openchargealliance.org. Thank you for watching.